for those that are living in the Philadelphia, because right now, bro, the Philadelphia is on fire. There was a huge shooting that happened in West Philadelphia a few days ago. There is body camera footage, the moments leading up to a fatal police shooting of Walter Wallace Jr. The actual video of the shooting will be released on Wednesday, the body cam footage from the police. But in the meantime, if you were on Instagram, you could actually see the whole shooting happen in progress. And first and foremost, before anything else, condolences, absolutely condolences to the Walter Wallace Jr. family. So a joint statement released Friday by Jim Kenney, the mayor, as well as the district attorney and police commissioner, and the Wallace family said the timing is in the best interest of our city and its residents for the body cams to come out after the election. But we've already seen all the video. We've seen the protests. We've seen some people looting, burning, torching not only just businesses, but also police cars. We've even seen one reporter from 6ABC doing a reporting, and behind him across the street at the gas station, there were people trying to rob the gas station, trying to break in with power tools. So I want to get right into this. So Cortez, please enlighten us.
I think it's some organized shit going on up in Philly with this, because I feel like these cats, they're systematic and they know exactly what to hit, man. And they got explosives, for God's sakes, man.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, okay. I know in the hood you cannot find high-tech explosives, not like that, not the stuff that was on the Parkway, folks. It's a lot. I think it's a lot of different instruments involved with this right here. We just don't know what, but they need to get the feds up in there, man, do some heavy investigations, because first, when it happened after the shooting, these jokers are driving up in cars and they were systematically picking out specific businesses to hit. That right there is premeditated, man. That means you knew what was going to happen. So I don't know if it's a gang of this is considered. I actually consider it as terrorism at this point.
And now, just to give a quick recap of what happened with the incident, there was this individual, Mr. Wallace. He, from what his family was saying, he was having an episode, I guess a mental episode, and he emerged from his house with a knife as family members were shouting out about his mental condition and trying to calm him down. But as you've seen in the video, he's pacing around, going from the street to the sidewalk and then back into the street again, and his mother is pleading for him to stop, to no avail, unfortunately. And you hear the police say, drop the knife. And then all of a sudden, at least 10 shots were fired, possibly 20. So, GPS, you've seen the video. You've seen the aftermath from this. What is your take on this?
Condolences to the family.
100%.
This is bad on so many levels. Okay? Somebody lost a son, a husband, a father. I wish there's something that either the family or the community they could have done before they even had to make a phone call. I wouldn't care if you had to get 5 guys from the neighborhood to hold him down while y'all give him something.
Right.
That would have been better than calling the police. Because as I understand the story, they called the police. They called 911 and requested only an ambulance.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
However, here's my problem. If they show up on the scene, the paramedics are not going to call for another ambulance. They're going to call the police.
Right.
And as I understand it, also they had been to the house like 3 or 4 times, like 3 times before that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the police were going to come. This part of it, I think, now has to be expected. Him lunging at the police with the knife, that's wrong. There's no way you can sugarcoat that. Him chasing the police around the car, that's wrong. There's no way you can sugarcoat that. The police shooting him 10 times, the police dropping 10 or 20 bullets in him, that's no good at all. And there's no way to sugarcoat that.
Correct.
I think 1 or 2 would have been enough. I don't know why anybody didn't have any rubber bullets, bean bags. You know, it's amazing that we had all this non-lethal stuff a few months ago, and now all of a sudden nobody can find it. But it's bad, and it's a shame. And it led to what? Protests, rioting, people tearing up 52nd Street after they just rebuilt it. now shop owners, now they really got to sit here and think, do I really want to sit here and do this again? Because we all know it's going to happen again, right?
In my view, I think that what could have been done, this all could have been prevented. We all know this. And one of the ways that it could have been done is through actually having their police shields. Now, I saw this video from England, and there was a machete-wielding suspect in a neighborhood. It was about 7, 8 officers. What they did, they all grabbed their shields, and then they all surrounded him. Surrounded him to a point where he just, they put their force upon him with these shields, and he was able to relinquish the machete, and they arrested him. No shots fired. Now, I said here in Philly or anywhere else in this country, you can use your shields in the same way. If you want to have a few people with shields, have somebody with a taser. Worst case scenario, have somebody with a gun for a ultimate last resort, if that. And I used it in a comparison to Andre Waters. Now follow me here. You got your guy with the shield. You got your guy with the gun. You have your guy with a taser. You have the officer with the taser. Take him, shoot him, whether it's the arm or somewhere in the chest, so we can try to get the knife out of there. And then you have that other officer with the shield come with your Andre Waters 3-point stance and just tackle the shit out of him and take him down. Worst case scenario, if it's a gun, still, you don't have to go all out and just unleash your clip. Try to aim for a shoulder to get it out of the hand, the weapon out of the hand, or aim for a foot or a leg. Even one of the members of the community said they could have shot him in the leg if they had to, even as a last resort. They didn't tase him. They could have done that, but they did nothing else but just shoot to kill. That's all they did. Cortez?
I agree with you guys. It's just that the problem is when you call up an officer, they're not shooting warning shots. Mm-hmm. They're shooting to kill.
Yeah.
And I feel as though Indianapolis has this. I think they actually have a mental task force that go out and handle these type of problems with people that be having nervous breakdowns. They actually will send a paddy wagon out with semi-armed officers or whatever, and they will actually go into a situation and try to talk with the person before they use excessive force. I think at this point the cops they felt threatened, they felt afraid. This guy's holding a knife. He might have had another knife. We don't know.
Yep, that's very.
I mean, like I told you guys, I'm in martial arts, and you see somebody have a knife, you want to neutralize them as fast as possible without getting yourself cut.
Absolutely.
I felt as though these cats should have had tasers, man. As GPS said, y'all motherfuckers got bullets and tear gas and all this other stuff, but this situation could have just really. If you would have tased him, I think it would have took care of all these issues. I mean. Yes, 10 shots was way too much.
Definitely.
Way too much. They made sure he wasn't trying to get back up from that either.
Not at all. Not at all. And just one last little note that I have on this. There was commentary by the police commissioner. I believe her name is Outlaw. I think her last name, pardon the pun, was Outlaw.
Sergeant Outlaw.
Yeah.
Danielle Outlaw.
She said that I guess they didn't have the finances to have tasers for their officers because of everything that happened with COVID, the budget cuts, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but if I'm wrong, there was somebody that showed the video of these officers that were there, and they put a little circle around something that was near their holsters or near their belt buckles up in the front. And from what people were saying, allegedly, those were tasers. So we don't know the facts yet if that photo did show tasers on those officers or not. But if they are, if they're tasers, why didn't you go with the taser first? Why is it always gun first?